Rise and shine your light in opulence, solution seekers. It's your girl, the spiritual activist, coming to you with another word, message, spout of wisdom, whatever you want to call it. So I just dropped my son off at school, and I was just thinking about how he's only in pre-K, little thing, got this big old backpack and just walks so confidently into school. And I'm just like, this is not to say anything about my childhood or anything. It's just that I feel like this is the first generation of people who are becoming, like, as a mass whole, like, more consciously aware of emotions, energy, mindset, the spirit, whatever. And down to a quote unquote lower level. A lot of times knowledge and power and awareness is kept to a status of the people that are already placed into power, and they kind of just, create their congregation or their tribe that becomes spiritually dependent on to them for information and knowledge. But I feel like right now we're in a stage where people are being their own gurus, their own, leaders. They're listening to their own inner wisdom. It doesn't mean you can't get some guidance from here and there, but now I'm kind of rambling off. But my point is just like, I don't know necessarily how I felt as a kid. I think elementary I was pretty confident and fearless too, but there's been a lot of reflection on, like, the school system and, just being a teacher at heart and having that experience. I do notice how there's so much contradictory messages, so much double standards, so many things embedded within the teaching practices that F up our youth. And it's like, we teach them to be quiet, sit down, all this stuff as children, as little kids. And then by the time they're getting into these high school, college ages, then it's like, speak up, be proud, be confident. But by that time, they have anxiety, they have depression, they have all these things that we didn't think they were dealing with as young kids. Because, a lot of times we think, oh, you're just a kid. You don't got no problems. You don't got no worries. Does that sound familiar? All those, like, expressions that kind of, what's the word, like neglect or downgrade or, just undermine our emotions and the things that we could be possibly going through, instead of giving us the awareness that, maybe our situation may not seem as big to an adult, but they're big to us, as children. And so I just want to continue to, like, empower my son to understand energy and understand spirits and understand emotions, so that he can always stay in that driver's seat and conquer those energies. Because the anxiety for one is a normal emotional reaction. Now, when it becomes like chronic anxiety or like debilitating anxiety, that's when the issues are arising. There's always a spectrum, and it's not always extreme, so but, like, basically, when right now he's all confidently walking in, but maybe when it comes time to go to middle school or high school, there's going to be that nervousness that kicks in, those butterflies, that nausea, the bubble guts, like all those physical reactions to emotions that he may not understand. But now, because I've experienced it, and I can look back on it and reflect and say, I was experiencing anxiety. That's why my stomach was hurting every time I pulled up to school. That's why I always got sick every time it was a major event. That's why this, and this. And so instead of, like, understanding that, I just thought there was something wrong with me. But the more I probably would have understood and then talked about, hey, it's okay to be nervous about your first day, or it's okay to not know, or to hate not knowing something and, like, trying to figure it out. Because that's something I deal with a lot. Not knowing and feeling, how can I say, ignorant or miseducated or just stupid in a situation, like, just not knowing, like, and going through the research process and the learning process. That is very difficult for me, especially, I'm a conquering perfectionist, so I don't like to go through that phase, because it's ugly, because it's rough, because you make mistakes and you have And you have to learn through failure, and those are emotions that I have to surrender to, and that's very hard in itself. So just giving him that awareness, like, dude, it's okay. The system is set up to F with you anyway. You go into a school for the first time, you got your 9th through 12th grade, and then these teachers up in here acting like you're supposed to know how to maneuver through the school when they didn't even know how to maneuver through the school. The school brand new. They had to figure it out. They had a whole week of in-service to get to know, and so they can be confident and be these guides. But instead of being guides, they're being these pompous bullies. And acting like, and making you feel like you dumb because you don't know how to get around, or do something that is understandable. So these are like the things I'll be talking about. It's like, and I do have a podcast called Confidence 101, I believe that's what it's called. But look for my confidence episode. It really goes into a lot of why why you shouldn't walk around feeling intimidated by people's reaction to you not knowing something, or why you shouldn't feel that fear of, and how to conquer that fear of, like, just not knowing. But yeah, I'm gonna for sure tell them, hey, don't feel bad because you don't know how to get to somewhere. Ask your questions. Like, be confident in not knowing. Be confident in not knowing, because when you do that, then that's how you learn. Like, don't be scared to ask a question. There's no dumb questions. Closed mouth don't get fed. Only dumb questions is the ones that go unasked, because now you don't know. Now you are dumb. Just kidding. But you know what I mean. What are you going to be dumber as? When you don't ask and get the answer, or when you do ask and you get the answer? Now you one piece of knowledge smarter. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, and just reflecting on staying in that driver's seat, staying ready so you ain't got to get ready, understanding, like, there's so many things in this life that we're going through. And I don't care what guru, what teacher, including me, that you listen to, for, like, just insight, guidance, whatever, just little advice from their experience. We're all out here battling our demons every day. And the thing is, we're just mastering self. We're mastering our own emotions. We're mastering our own triggers. We're mastering our own mindset. We're learning it. We're going inward. We're criticizing constructively ourselves. You have to be able to, like, have that come into Jesus moment with yourself. Like, seriously, you got to be able to go into that room with yourself and break yourself down in a sense where nobody else can, because you've already done it. You already know the things you need to work on. You already know what triggers you. You already know that wounded aspect of yourself that you're healing, that you're trying to get out of. Yes, you have your days when you may feel depressed, giving up, this and that. You may not feel like being positive. You feel like, I be positive and positive and positive, and I get nothing out of it. Yeah, everybody goes through those moments. The thing is that it becomes so hard to stay positive because we never see enough negative. We never, and that sounds weird, right? But it's because we never see enough of the process. We never see those breakdowns. We never see that person getting rejected. We never see that person hearing no when they're trying to start their business. So we never see them not know how to do their finances, accounting. We never see them go bankrupt. We never see them on the food stamps, on welfare, on Medicaid, on very low budgets to make ends meet, because right now they pinching pennies because their business didn't do good this year. We don't see that. So when we're going through the process based on the end result, seeing them successful and traveling and and they've been with this company for 6 years, we don't see all the recitals they miss, all the time they miss spending with their family. We only see what we want, which is the end result. And so in that, you're chasing, like, it's like chasing a carrot that's hanging from that string over your head. You seen like an image like that, right? You're never gonna get it. That's how you're going to keep feeling. You're setting yourself up to feel defeated. You're setting yourself up to feel disappointed. You're setting yourself up to feel all of these feelings of lack and discouragement. because you're looking at the end result. You're not looking at the step-by-step process. And I'm not blaming you. It's like I said, because we don't never get to see those processes. But nobody is obligated to share their story with you. But I do feel like as an influencer, you should hold a level of responsibility to be transparent and have integrity and be honest and real with people who are, looking up to you for some sort of inspiration. Be realistic. Don't paint this fantasy just to get followers and have this clickbait type of page. Be real about it. Because I'm out here actually going through the process. That's why it's called Diary of a Conscious Black Soul. From the spiritual activist me, I'm trying to share those woes and those experiences that I'm struggling. Like I said, I work a regular job. I'm doing my 9 to 5 to make ends meet. Me and my husband, we do our thing. We're both out here doing the best we can with what we have, and having our own goals and dreams set aside to give our son a better life than necessarily like we had. So every generation is supposed to be about leveling up, evolving more, ascending more, growing more, just gaining more of that abundance, breaking down those mental roadblocks, those mindset barriers, all those generational patterns that have left us stuck. I don't like curses and I don't like that word. So all those generational patterns and habits that we've had that have maybe gotten in the way of success. All of those ancestral not necessarily addictions, but all of those ancestral weaknesses that we may have yearned, that have those temptations that may have gotten into the way, and some of them are addictions, just keeping it real. So all of those poor coping mechanisms or unhealthy coping mechanisms, because I don't believe all coping mechanisms are bad, but also I want to also tell you about this season. This season we're getting into, we're getting into the fall, the autumn, whatever it is, basically the same thing. That energy, the going into winter season, this is that season of hibernation. This is that season of reflecting. This is that season of reminiscing. It's also the season of purging, and I'm not talking about like the movie. I'm talking about releasing the old to make room for the new. I'm talking about constantly reprogramming and redefining your perspective, your mindset, the way you see things in life, as you reflect on what kind of life you want, what kind of person you want to be. It's also about remembering who you are, who you once were, who you want to become, and how you're going to get there. Those steps you got to take to get to the place you're trying to go. And I've been doing so much reflecting, so much so that it almost can take a hold over my day-to-day life. I'm just in my head, just really trying to make a plan and trying to make sure I'm constantly working towards it, and not just giving up because I'm in stages of that void period where things are percolating, things are working. Also, do stay in contact with your mind, that ancestral knowledge. Your ancestors, they do have wisdom for you. Just, constantly pray and ask for the most high, the most venerated, the most benevolent, those energies that are positive, that want your best interest, that for you and your family. And if you have a family, keep that in the forefront of your mind as well, because some energies don't care about you having a family, don't care about you having this and that, and that can lead you into a place of selfishness. And not saying that sometimes you don't need to be selfish in the essence of putting yourself first, but you don't want to be to the point where you're leaving your kids and traveling across the country and you just left them hanging, what I'm saying, stuff like that. Or your mind is playing tricks on you, and now you was loving your husband yesterday, you was loving your wife yesterday, and today you hate their guts and you don't know why, and you think it's because this and this, and instead you just don't know how to communicate your emotions and your feelings and ask for the things you need. So, but yeah, I'm kind of rambling now. But yeah, this is that season we're entering. Get into nature, walk, reflect, listen to the trees, listen to the wind, look at the clouds, look at the birds. Look at the ground you walking on. This is Mother Earth, God's creation. Keep yourself anointed. Keep yourself shielded in God's energy. Walk through that shield. Walk in purpose. Walk in that light. You may not always get the reactions you want, but you know your worth. And until you find that environment that resonates with you, that aligns with your worth, your newfound worth that's always been there, your innate worth that you were born with, that God created you in, when you walk in that light of righteousness, of doing things with integrity, yes, you're gonna get negative energy because everybody is not on the same path as you. They're not on the same journey. They're not in the same place of their journey as you. They may be on the journey, they're just not there yet. And you have to take people for where they are. It doesn't mean see them as their weaknesses or their flaws or where they are in their journey. It means just take people for their actions and act accordingly to it. Because at the end of the day, we are all just vessels. Spirits and energies run through us all day long, depending on how disciplined and how protected we are. You know, sometimes people are not even consciously aware of the things that they're saying and doing, but they're being used in your life. You are like the star of your show. You're like the star of your reality. So it's not to you, it's for you. It's to show you something. It's to test you. It's to be a faith tester. It's to test your growth. It's to test your wisdom. It's to teach you a lesson, show you something, give you a sign, a warning. There's so many reasons why things are said and done to you. It doesn't mean to sit here and obsess and overthink and overanalyze everything, but it's just about understanding that don't take everything so personally and don't always necessarily write a person off because something they've said or done, because a lot of times people are not even aware. But what it is about understanding and being able to have a normalcy of expressing your boundaries and expressing how something makes you feel, because we're getting in a space where we need to now not bite our tongues, not block that throat chakra, you know what I'm saying? Just express what something made you feel, and not and I don't mean just being hardcore, like, hey, my nigga, like, you ain't got to go to the streets with it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just, if something bothers you, that's your friend. If you can't express yourself to your friends and your circles, then you need to find another circle. You need to be around people that you can express yourself and y'all can come back from it. And y'all both can work on, okay, you know, I expressed myself to you, I ain't gonna lie. Or say my friend say, hey, Chris, you know, I don't like what you said, kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm going to be honest with you. I may instantly jump to defensive inside, because that's human nature. I may instantly be triggered and start thinking of everything that they done did, that I done bit my tongue about, that irritated me. I'm like, all the time. That's me getting defensive because somebody told me something about myself when I know I'm my biggest critic and I don't like when other people criticize me. So that's what I'm working on as well. But it still does not take away from the fact of me taking accountability for this moment in time that something happened to me. So these are things that I'm talking about. This is the self-mastery. This is what comes of self-reflecting. And the more and more you step into that self-reflection and self-mastery, the more you understand yourself, understand these vessels around you, aka humans, people, you know, friends, family, whatever, the more empowered you feel, the more no one can take your emotions and control your emotions. You are in the driver's seat. You're not in the back seat, not in the passenger seat. You're steering this vehicle. God is your GPS, you know what I'm saying? Your ego, it's in the back seat. You know, it can pipe in every now and then. Your spirit team, they're in the passenger seat. They're giving you that company. They're riding along with you. They're you know, that they gassing you up. They the energy, the pumping you up and keeping your spirits high. And they also may know a shortcut. They may also know a good little spot y'all can eat at. You get what I'm saying? I'm using metaphors and analogies here, but just to show you about the journey. And then by the time you get to that destination, you're going to realize the whole road trip, the whole journey, you know, was the destination because of all the memories you created, all the fun you had, all the pit stops and even the flat tires, that ended up leading you to the best spot you had to eat all day. And you realize, hey, that downfall really turned into one of the best blessings, the best memories I had on this whole road trip, aka journey. This is the vision that I have, that my ancestors, my divine spirit team put into my vessel and my mindset. These are the types of things that I have to share with my tribe that sees the value in my words and can feel my integrity, can feel my love, can feel my passion, can feel my heart, to know that I am out here to help my community. I am out here to help black families and marriages, black children, black teenagers, black couples, black women, black men understand the ways in which we've been used. Our vessels have been used to bring us down, and not only us, but our communities down, to be these henchmen of the massa mentality. Like I've mentioned before in my very, very first beginnings of my, downloads and beginnings of my wisdom and knowledge, those podcasts in the beginning, listen to them. It's a lot of content. I understand. Take little by little. Look, scroll the titles and the descriptions and just see what sets with you and listen to it, and just know that this has been my growth journey. My mindset may have shifted over the past, some of my older posts. Maybe I don't even, practice some of the things I did or believe some of the things I did, and figuring out who I was and just accepting who I am and making modifications and adjustments as I go. Not from a place of lack, not from a place of judgment, shame, guilt, but from a place of self-acceptance and growth. That's it. You can't guilt me or shame me into changing and being something that I'm not. If it resonates with me and I like it, then I'm gonna do it. But I'm not gonna sit out here and become this religion or do this spiritual practice just to fit in or just to seem like I'm woke. Because I know when we get past all of this worldly division and people shaming people for using crystals and people shaming people for praying, when at the end of the day, it's all about your intention and about your relationship to God. That's really the essence of it all. Whatever catalyst you use, whatever practice you use to get to that, to get to God, to communicate with God, is nobody else's business. Unless you make it theirs. You know what I'm saying? But you can't judge me or shame me or guilt me or manipulate me to make me feel like I'm dumb because I don't do this, or I'm not woke because I don't do this, or I'm asleep, or I'm just a sheep, or because I don't do this or that. It's about my mindset and my heart and me knowing what I know. My wisdom you can't take. I know what I know, whether I practice or that, whether I eat this or that. I still know what you know. I still believe what you believe. We still have the same understanding, overstanding, and understanding. So whether your lifestyle and your, practices and modalities differ from mine and have a certain level of hierarchy in this society or not, does not mean that you are more worthy or you are worth more than me. And that's the mindset y'all have to have, because that's when you take your power back, when no one can manipulate you spiritually into doing something. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like putting out everything, because some people need to be a little manipulated. Some people are really just train wrecks, and they need somebody to wake them up in a way that shocks their, ego and their mindset to do better. Some people do need that. But I know what I'm doing, and I know I'm on my own path, and nothing's gonna spiral me into some deep depression because I'm not on that person's journey. They've been on that journey for damn near 15 years, and I'm just now seeing them on Instagram and on whatever social platform, and I'm gonna let them judge me for just now starting my journey of 6 months in. Come on. Y'all have to think about that. Come on, solution seekers, let's go. Stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. Get in the driver's seat. Get to the root so you can find the solution. You know what I'm saying? So, as always, keep God first. Peace, love, light, and healing energies. Be open to receiving them. I love you guys. Peace out. After I just made this post about, this season and, giving that read, and I started thinking a little bit more about what I said about it's also a purging season. So with that, this society has labeled it as whatever. There's a lot of things within society, within different communities that have their own perspective, and these perspectives carry energy and they carry connotations or meanings that can either uplift, empower, or disempower and misinform and manipulate you. So, there's the idea of flu season, this is a sick season, this is this and that. But fall and winter bring a heavy energy, you know what I'm saying? And the cosmology, I don't know all of the, astrological, astronomy behind everything, but I do know feeling. I do know spirit. And a lot of times there's things I hear, I feel like, my conspiracy, there's things I hear that are set into place to block those connections to spirit, to God, to the universe, to the energy, to the season. And just understand that if you're feeling sick, if you're feeling under the weather, if you're feeling this and that, your throat is really scratchy, really dry, you're having migraines, everything isn't always just like, oh, it's a sickness, it's a cold. Sometimes your body is kind of trying to show you something. It's your throat chakra. You need to speak up some more. You need to get back out there and express yourself creatively. Those the migraines. You're having a lot of downloads, a lot of deep thought. You're having a overactive mindset. If you're into crystals, look into those crystals. I was just in this store, a local store within my area. It's a good place. Y'all should check it out. It's called Cavascos. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, they have 3 locations within the Houston, Humble area. So yeah, they have all kind of herb blends and crystals and sage, Palo Santo, singing bowls, just everything. But I really like their herb blends, for teas and stuff like that. And they have blends specifically for different things you could be going through, especially flus, respiratory. But there's a lot of things that the spiritually connected people go through. These light bringers, these people who are trying to bring balance to the world, who actually, want to walk in a certain purpose. That's their calling. It doesn't mean that if you don't feel called to that you don't have a purpose. Everybody has some kind of purpose. Everybody's not meant to be a spiritual teacher or a spiritual guide or what have you. But what I'm saying is, don't get stuck in that what's that mindset, hypochondriac, Munchausen or whatever, where you just are over diagnosing yourself with this and with that and getting to a place of fear, because it's not. Don't be fearful, be empowered. Listen to the signs, listen to your body, and just take it for what it is. It doesn't mean you're dying. It means, okay, there could be a lot of pollutants in this air. This is the allergy season. The ragweeds could be high. Be a little more level-headed and grounded with your mindset. Don't jump to worst-case scenario like our minds have been programmed and conditioned to do. And it also can be spiritual signs as well. This, like I said, this season brings about and brings a lot to the surface. So just understand that with that purge and season, reflect on it how you may, listen to this. And sometimes after you listen to one of my episodes, ask God and your divine spiritual team, most benevolent spiritual team, to help you reflect. But also listen to your own spirit first. Sometimes, get your own voice before you call in so many spirits within yourself. You have to get acquainted with your own beliefs before you just start welcoming, because it can become a lot of noise. You want to kind of quiet the noise first and get content with knowing your voice and knowing your morals and values and belief systems before you start incorporating little by little something else, the wisdom or the perspectives of other spirits and energies, So you can always just listen to one of my episodes and then reflect on it. What comes to mind when you think of the purge? Not the purge, the movie, like I said. What comes to mind when you think of purging and releasing, renewing, hibernating, resting, reflecting, remembering? What comes to mind for you? What do you need to write down, think about, plan for? I want to empower you. I don't want you to be dependent on me. What I do is plant the seeds. You have to water it. You have to take it outside to get sunlight. You have to give it love. You have to sing to it. You have to talk to it. You have to nurture it. I'm just planting the seeds that wake you up. I'm putting it in your hands. You're in the driver's seat. I'm not hauling no bus with a bunch of people in the back. I have my own car like you have your own car. Now, we could be riding on the side of each other, swinging on each other, racing each other, playing, while we both on this journey and just a destination together, this road trip together. We can take the road trip together, but you have your own car, I have my own car. You know what I'm saying? You going your way, and sometimes we may veer off and you go that way, and then we may come back up and meet back on the same road again. It's like that, So just think about that.